Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here today with Pradeep Raman, who is the general manager of the famed Baccarat Hotel in New York. Now, a little background on this is we're actually here at Virtuoso Travel Week, but I stayed with Pradeep about 2 months ago, and we never have connected to do. I saw him briefly, and we didn't have a chance to do the interview, but of course, here at Virtuoso, where all things are luxury, we are here together finally, and even though we do live 15 minutes together, away from each other. So we're going to talk about the Baccarat, the famed Baccarat, and what's going on with it today on Insider Travel Report. Again, Pradeep, it's great to see you here at Virtuoso. I'm glad we connected, and then we do have to do that lunch someday, right?
Very soon. And I'm glad we connected in Las Vegas and not in New York, because we get to be around our peers and colleagues.
Absolutely.
And it's fun to be here and see that travel is indeed coming back.
Absolutely. We have 4,000 people here live. I think 1,000 are virtual. We're starting to forget about that virtual world. But here at Virtuoso Travel Week, everybody's here to talk about luxury. And Baccarat is luxury. And let's talk a little bit about the hotel. Tell us a little bit about the history of the property, because it seems like it's been there forever, but it really hasn't.
Well, yes, it does. You know, great things leave a legacy. And we've been there since March of 2015, when it was, I would call it a reimagined luxury, because Baccarat is a French crystal company.
Right.
It has a legacy of over 258 years and counting. And this was reimagined by our chairman, Barry Sternlicht, who really wanted to put something together and really present Baccarat and hospitality to the New York market. So when it was introduced in 2015, it was new, it was fresh. It gave people that excitement that there's so much opulence. And somebody like a Baccarat could actually venture into hospitality. Who knew? It's there.
It was one of the first that kind of brand name. We were getting a trend of all these fashion names coming in, and Baccarat was certainly one of them. And it became famous because obviously the crystals are beautiful. You got all around the hotel. Talk a little bit about, this is the only Baccarat right now in the world, but do you have plans to expand?
Well, we do. And we've got some good expansion plans. So obviously, the key thing is location, 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 and it needs to feel right. It needs to be right. So we are going to have the Baccarat in Rome, which we signed on recently. It's in an area called Via Veneto, which I always say that it's like the Rodeo Drive of
very definitely. That's where all the Italian films and it took place on the Via Veneto, and it's amazing. But that's great. And when is that? Do you think that's going to be?
Well, it might, I think we anticipate 2024 or 2025, because we have to gut out the existing build and we have to make it a Baccarat. So that's exciting. Then we're going to have a Baccarat in Florence as well. So Italy is really coming alive. And we also plan on having the Baccarat in Diriyah Gates in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, so you're one of, and I talked to the developer there, amazing people down there, and I'm actually going to Saudi Arabia this year because I want to see it, and going for a World Travel and Tourism Council, so I really want to see what they're doing down there. It's an amazing story. And here at Virtuoso, the Saudi tourism CEO was here, and I just interviewed him yesterday.
Oh, so, fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be a one-of-a-kind property. And here's what excites me, that, there's great brands, but Baccarat is going to stand on its own. It's going to be unique, and there might be a residential element as well. So wait and watch. There's a surprise there.
Now let's go back to the New York property. And how does your hotel match up to kind of the Baccarat feel? I mean, what is the kind of the fame maker of crystal, and how do you reflect that specifically? I mean, I know I've been there, but
well, I could sum it up in a few words, but I'll give you a little bit of what it means. I like to say Baccarat, you don't need an occasion to come to the Baccarat. The thing is, coming to the Baccarat becomes an occasion because you're surprised by the opulence there. But I always like to tell my team and everybody I speak to that opulence without warmth is arrogance. Right. So our drive has been to be as warm, hospitable, and engage with our guests at the highest levels, where they feel that, hey, I'm here at the Baccarat, but they know who I am. Right. So what does that mean for a consumer is name recognition, watching you and ensuring that, you feel comfortable and you feel happy about being here. Because again, Baccarat is all about celebration. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's about coming up with that surprise element where the guest feels like, wow, I can't believe they thought about this. So it's about being surprised. It's about celebrating. And you don't need a reason to come to the Baccarat. Come for a glass of champagne, come for afternoon tea, or come to a bar and, just be inspired and have fun. What really encourages us and inspires us is to have everybody that comes in, come in happy and go happy and cannot wait to come back again.
Absolutely. And I've tried the bar. It's a wonderful bar, and everybody wants to go to the Baccarat bar. Let's talk about those public spaces, because you take an elevator up to your kind of main floor where you have your check-in, but you have all these amazing other rooms too.
Right.
They're different. It's kind of like, a little and there's the bar if you go down one way, and then there's other receptions. So talk about those public areas.
Well, let me just go back for a second.
Okay.
I want to talk to you about when you enter the Baccarat, what is the feeling?
Okay.
We purposefully did not put in flags, or if you notice our doormen that are there, the gentlemen downstairs, they do not have hats or anything. So every guest that comes to the Baccarat knows where they're going. So when you come in, you cannot help yourself, but you see this beautiful artwork. And the artwork is not a painting, but it's almost about 1,800 of the Baccarat hardcore glasses. Wow. And I have to tell you, it takes about 6 artisans to create one hardcore glass, because it is that unique and it is that special. And we have about 1,800 of them with a beautiful light fixture, or a light show, as we call it. So that welcomes you. And along with the Rouge 540 aroma, so we're setting the expectation as and when you're in the building. Then you take the elevator and you come up to the second floor. And lo and behold, you're surprised because you see this beautiful and opulent grand salon. You see the chandeliers and you see your beautiful hostesses that are there, and they're ready to welcome you. And then you walk through there. If you're checking into the hotel, you're going to the front desk, or if you're a guest who's coming to the restaurant, you go into the grand salon. Whatever meal period it is, breakfast, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner, or in for a glass of wine or champagne. Or you go to the bar. And the bar, I've got to tell you, James, is unlike anything I've seen in my career. Yeah. It's inspired by the stables of Versailles, and that's why the curves are there. Amazing emphasis on the artwork. It all amplifies the crystal. It all amplifies the Baccarat. And, what we do is, our goal is to have every guest transpired through that, and it's a story. And not to forget, we have a place called the library section at the Baccarat Salon. And you might wonder if you've seen it, there are all these bound books there. And one always asks yourself, what is that? It's actually 258 leather-bound books with the year mentioned in there, because for every year we have a book. So the 258 years of the Baccarat legacy, when this crystal company was found, so we have 258 books. And since 2015, we've had guests who leave comments. They write notes, very emotional notes, and some of them come back and they read through those comments again and again. Or they're writing more comments.
That's amazing. So you got a whole history of the hotel.
Yeah. But the other thing we've also done, which I am super excited about, is we actually added more value to that space by collaborating with our colleagues at the Baccarat Retail Company. And we thought, hey, why don't we put a Baccarat within a Baccarat? So there is this retail store which has everything Baccarat, right from the 540 perfume to the glassware to the chandeliers. And how does it play? If you're a guest who's walking the public spaces, you're at the bar and you have a champagne and you love the glass, you don't need to wait for a day or 2 days, or you don't need to walk to Madison Avenue.
Go buy the glass.
We'll escort you to the store, which is on the second level, and you buy it. And the unique thing is, if you're staying international or outside of New York, they'll ship it to you at no charge.
That's great.
So it's amazing. Yeah. It's the experience.
Those are the public areas. Let's talk about the accommodation, as I was lucky enough to stay overnight. How many rooms do you have? And
we have
keys, I should say.
We have 114 rooms. About 22 of them are suites. And we have 59 residences as well.
And they're beautiful. I mean, the rooms are all gorgeous. It really is a very special place. And so you have that accommodations. And then going back to the dining and beverage, you do have that wonderful bar, but you also have the restaurant, right?
We do. We have the restaurant, which is called the Grand Salon. And the Grand Salon is the epitome, and I'd call it the heartbeat of the hotel. Because when you come in, everybody that's there is coming there to celebrate an occasion, or they're making their presence there a celebration. They're dressed, they're excited, and they want to be seen. And how do I know that? Is every time I walk through the public space, and I have to tell you, I walk through a lot through the space. I meet guests, I meet employees. Everybody's taking selfies. So guests are so excited to be there, and they want to be there. And I am super excited about that. So for us as operators, it inspires us to look at the programming, look at something unique, look at something exciting. So we are able to engage with our guests as much as possible and give them a reason to come back with their friends or recommend the hotel and so on and so forth.
Well, you have an incredible word of mouth, I'd have to tell you. Everybody knows about Baccarat. Now, one of the things about the hotels, you actually have a spa. You have Spa de la Mer and other facilities, including like a 50-foot swimming pool, right? Which not too many hotels in New York have.
Not too many. I call it the hidden gem because every guest that comes in there is super excited because it breaks the mold of a traditional hotel where you have to find it. You walk in there, it's, our gym is facing the pool. It's all glass. You could see everybody there. And it is a heated pool. And there is also a beautiful jacuzzi. And there's a humongous mirror. And there's beautiful lighting there. And we have some cabanas where we encourage our guests who want to swim to spend some time at the cabana, rest and relax. But I have to tell you this as well. Because of the amount of space we have, we limit the usage of cabana to an hour. So we're able to accommodate more guests.
Got it. Yeah,
and this also applies to guests that come to the spa for a treatment. And we have a very creative menu. And our team of chefs and our spa director came up with a bento box series, which is very creative.
And it sounds like something I want to have for lunch. But
it is, and you have to.
Okay.
And there are only about 2 or 3 offerings, and it changes by the season.
Okay.
And not to mention our amazing champagne list, where a guest can choose the champagne they want with a bento box and enjoy themselves.
That's amazing. And I did see the you'll see a photo of it here. Now, what are the advantages? You are really in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. So tell me, what are you near in this place? Obviously you walk up and down Fifth Avenue, you go shopping on Madison Avenue. It's not too far from the park. You are really in central, right?
Mm-hmm. We are central. And any guest that comes in, depending on what they want to do, MoMA is right across us. Fifth Avenue is a stone throw away. You can walk to Madison Avenue. We don't have views of Central Park. However, it's a 5 to 10 minute walk, depending on how fast you can walk. But there's a lot of great stores, amazing shopping, amazing restaurants, the local restaurants and chef-driven restaurants. And there's a lot of art, and Broadway is not too far. So typically when we have guests come, they like to walk sometimes because they want to explore Midtown. They want to see the color, the lights, and feel New York. Okay. And this location that we have gives a guest an opportunity to experience New York at its best.
No, and it is a wonderful location. Yeah. Now, what's your background? Because you've been in luxury hotels for a bit now, and actually in New York a lot.
Yeah, I would say 25 and counting in terms of years.
You look so young. How can you do that?
Well, probably it's my Indian genes. I don't know. So I started my career with Ritz-Carlton Hotels after I graduated.
Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. There are worse things you can do. But after I graduated from École de Roche in Switzerland, where I did my master's program, I started with Ritz-Carlton, traveled the world with them. Then I worked for Montage Hotels and Resorts in Beverly Hills. I worked for an emerging company called Viceroy Hotels in Los Angeles as well, where I managed their beautiful, iconic boutique property in Beverly Hills. And then I worked for Mr. Wynn here in Las Vegas for 2 years.
Oh, so you have been here?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know this part of the story. I guess we had to come all the way to Vegas to find that out.
Exactly. And that's the reason I chose to do it here, so I could tell you that, hey, I've lived in Las Vegas.
There you go. And you left it.
I know. But I worked for the Peninsula Group for 11 very fruitful years in Hong Kong, in Chicago, in New York. And then obviously, I got a unique opportunity to move to the Baccarat. So it was...
ever since? That's great.
Absolutely. It's been a fruitful 2 years and counting. And given everything that's happening, I'm looking forward to strengthening the brand with our SH group of hotels and moving it forward.
It sounds like you're spending a little time in Italy soon, but we'll see what happens.
Hopefully we'll see.
Now, just the last thing, talking about the actual experience of the brand, what are kind of the secrets that you would tell guests to really enjoying the Baccarat? Well,
there are a lot of things you can expect or you cannot expect. And that's the element of surprise and delight that I mentioned at the Baccarat. If you're a foodie, I would say that the Baccarat New York has incredible offerings because the quality of food, it's obviously our culinary director is Chef Gabriel Kreuter, who's a 2-star Michelin chef from Alsace, who I've personally known for over 22 years. Amazing chef. As you know, he was with Modern, and then he was with the Atelier at the Ritz-Carlton, and now he's got his own restaurants. But he's an amazing collaborator, great visionary, and he's bringing his roots to us through Alsace because he's Alsatian. He's extremely proud of what he does. And if you are a wine drinker or champagne, you are in the paradise because I don't know whether you know this, James, but we have the largest champagne selection in North America.
That I did not know. I'm not surprised to some extent because you have wonderful, wonderful glasses to put it in.
Exactly.
But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But that is amazing. And I think I did have champagne at the bar at the one time.
Yeah, we do have quite a few hand-picked champagnes with us, which we're very, very careful about what we put on the list. And of course, we have a beautiful Le Jardin, which is our terrace, where guests can enjoy. We have these beautiful tangerine trees, and there's a little bit of lighting arrangement going on there, and of course, not to mention the spa, which is there, and also in your room. If you're tired, we'll actually have this unique thing where you press a button. It's called Call Press for Champagne, and our call center colleague will ask you what kind of champagne you'd like. So rather than you call the phone and say, "I'd like this, I'd like that," you just press the button. And they know exactly why you're calling, and they'll say, what kind of champagne would you like this evening?
I don't know too many hotels have a champagne button, I will say that.
Exactly. And that's a uniqueness as well. And then, of course, you go to the bar.
I didn't know about this when I was staying. I stayed there alone, so I wasn't thinking about champagne, so I never touched the button.
Well, James, there's always a next time.
So I got it. Now that be careful because I may use that button a little bit. Now, is there anything else you want to tell? We out to about 106,000 travel advisors, including a lot of these folks who are coming up to me and saying, "You saw all our videos." And so, what else do you want to say to them?
Well, I'd like to say that travel is back. As a hotelier, I'm very excited about what the future presents. And there are so many reasons to come to New York and come to the Baccarat especially, because I think the Baccarat New York appeals to everybody. We don't appeal to one set of clients. We don't appeal to one set of age group. We're open to everybody. And what I'm very proud of is also the diversity in our staff. We have staff from probably about 16 nations, and even in my executive team, I'm originally from India. My director of finance, he's from Palestine. We have our hotel manager who's from Philippines. Our director of food and beverage is from Puerto Rico. So these are just some tiny things, but it goes a long way because we're able to appreciate culture and we're able to celebrate that. So I have news for you. When you come to New York, come to the Baccarat and experience what I'm talking about. It is extremely unique. It's gratifying, and be prepared to be surprised.
And actually, one question I forgot to ask, you've actually done some renovations recently, right?
Yeah, we have. We've done a few things. We've upgraded our rooms product a little bit. But of course, as I mentioned, Le Jardin, which was in June of 2020, we realized that we could make the terrace unique terrace. So we actually invested in some landscaping, and we also did some lighting fixtures and lighting design. And we actually gave it Le Jardin. And as I was thinking through the name, I went back to Paris in my mind, and I was thinking, walking through Jardin of Tuileries, the Tuileries Gardens, and that made me think that, hey, we are a French hotel, why don't we actually make this the garden? So there's a concept, and our culinary team also hand-created a menu specifically for Le Jardin. So, which was easy for alfresco dining, and also the cocktails. I don't know whether you had the cocktail.
I had the cocktails in the bar. Yeah.
You did, great. But if you sat outside with the weather being good, a lot of it was inspired by gardens and freshness of the ingredient. And obviously, you can't go wrong with the Baccarat glass. So we took advantage of the fact that you could enjoy whimsical cocktails and easy food in a fine Baccarat glass.
And I did that too. It's amazing, and that really made the Baccarat experience all too real. Pradeep, thank you so much. It was great to see you here at Virtuals. Now, where can agents go to find out more about the Baccarat, the website?
Well, I would say go to www.baccarathotels.com, or, you could also go to SH Group's website, which also has a Baccarat because we're one of their brands. And, or you can call us directly. Absolutely. Call our hotel or call me. Okay. And, I'm happy to answer your questions, or I'm happy to help you get a reservation.
Absolutely. Well, again, Pradeep, great to see you here. We finally got together here.
I know,
and now we got to get together near our hometowns. It's going to be interesting. And then back in New York. Again, thank you so much. And I had a wonderful stay, all too brief, but you have a wonderful hotel, and sounds like you got plans for even more.
Absolutely. Yeah, James, it's been lovely to see you. And I'm glad that we made this happen finally.
Absolutely. Well, it took us to both get to Vegas. But anyway, I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.